This standard has 7 quality management principles. So the 7 quality management principles, the most important one of them being customer focus. As I told you, the customers have to be satisfied. So satisfaction can be brought only when requirements of the customer are focused on. The next principle is leadership. The next quality management principle is engagement of people. The people in the organization have to be engaged with the product, process, service, or whatever the organization provides its customers. So, as I told you, engagement of people is an important aspect. Only when people are engaged and they focus on quality as an important parameter, you get good quality management, and there is continual improvement in all the different processes operated by an organization. The next principle is the process approach, and decisions have to be based on evidence. So evidence-based decision making is an important aspect of quality management. So as you see, evidence-based decision making. So when decisions are made, there has to be evidence supporting that the decision is taken based on evidence, not because just somebody close to you came and told you that this decision has to be given. So it has to be based on evidence. And finally, relationship with the customer has to be managed. Relationship management is an important quality management principle in this standard. Yes, am I making myself clear? Okay, so let's go to the next slide. So what is a process approach? The process approach is an approach wherein you have a systematic way of doing an operation to develop a product, to render a service. Any product or service rendered by an organization is a systematic chain of activities wherein there is an input, a process is done, and finally there is an output. So the process approach is followed in this standard. And when systems and criteria are clearly defined, you get output as intended, and there are very few non-conformities which you may encounter, and they can be handled easily if there is a process approach to the product or service given by an industry. Yes. So what does the process approach do? It controls the interrelationships and interdependencies among processes to enable the organization to enhance quality performance. So if you see an organization, first you bring in raw material. Yes, as I told you initially, the case of the restaurant, they bring in all the different raw material which are different food, the raw material, pulses, grains, rice, and maybe tea or coffee, whatever they produce. They have to bring in all the raw material into the organization first. And then these have to be processed based on customer requirements. So there has to be a systematic definition of the process. How processes have to be done. There has to be a systematic definition. So you may be saying that these things may have to be procured only from this list of vendors, and you have to maybe when you want to procure, say, if you want to get a good seafood into the restaurant, you should go to the harbor or where they sell the fishes when the catch arrives. So that is when you get fresh seafood, just as an example. So there has to be a systematic definition of processes so that people have an idea on what has to happen next and they work in line with this definition. So when there is this definition, the management of interdependencies and effectiveness improves. Do you understand how the effectiveness improves? Once you define the process clearly, all the interdependencies are understood by the employees, and this leads to improvement of effectiveness. This also reduces negative effects. Negative effects, you can just, for an example, in the restaurant, if the procured food is not stored in the right temperature, it may cause to deterioration and decaying of foods like whatever has been procured. So those are negative effects, and those negative effects have to be reduced. This will be reduced if there is a process approach to the given process. So, and once the process approach is followed, there is consistency in meeting requirements. Every time an order comes, the employees of the organization understand what has to be done, so they consistently meet requirements because they understand clearly what has to be done. The value addition of processes is considered, and there is an achievement of effective process performance. And finally, data evaluation is done. The data of all the different processes are brought in, and there is an improvement of the processes based on data acquired. Have I made the process approach clear? This is an important aspect of this standard. Next thing is risk-based thinking. As I told you, this standard has done away with the preventive action. So organizations implementing the 9001-2015 standard have to incorporate risk-based thinking into their complete planning. So let us talk about what is risk. Risk is the effect of uncertainty on any given process. So say you want to reach a destination which is 1 hour away, and if you want to reach there safely, you have to start early. Yes. So, but even if you start early and the traffic is in chaos or the weather is bad, then these are risks which we cannot control and may make us late to the destination. So risk-based thinking has to be incorporated into the complete planning process. So risk can be defined as the effect of uncertainty on the outcome of an action. So risk-based thinking helps us to plan and implement actions to address risks and opportunities. So once you do risk-based thinking, you achieve improved results, you reduce negative effects, and because you do risk-based thinking, there is always possibility for attracting new customers. There is a possibility to develop new products and services, and you reduce wastage and improve productivity. These are some of the broadly defined items which will come into your organization once you do risk-based thinking on the product or service which your organization delivers. Yes, I think most of you will agree to this. So what is the scope of this standard? Scope of the ISO 9001-2015 standard. So you see the wording, it is consistently provide products and services which meet customer, statutory and regulatory requirements. So if you look at the standard, it says you need to demonstrate the ability to consistently provide products and services which meet customer, regulatory and statutory requirements. So if you have to consistently deliver products and services that meet customer and regulatory and statutory requirements, all members of the organization from the top management to the last employee have to understand requirements, have to be in line with the quality management idea. Only then the organization can consistently provide products and services which meet all these requirements. And the next point which the scope defines is that you have to enhance customer satisfaction by application of systems and processes and improve the continually improve the quality management system. Yes, so this is the next part of the scope. You have to enhance customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction is a very important aspect of quality management. As Mahatma Gandhi had always told you, the customer is the most important person in your premises. He is not dependent on you. You are dependent on him. So customer satisfaction is very important. Every satisfied customer will bring repeat customers, will bring repeat orders and greater revenue for all organizations. This has to be understood by all people in the organization. Only then customer satisfaction can be enhanced. So the scope of the standard applies irrespective of type, size, products and services provided by the organization. Yes, I hope I'm making myself clear. So benefits of implementing the ISO 9001-2015 standard. This is suitable for both small and large organizations. Once you implement the standard, there is better internal management, there is lesser wastage, there's an increase in efficiency, productivity and profit, improved customer retention and acquisition. See, this is an important point, improved customer retention and acquisition. Once you acquire a customer and you meet customer and statutory and regulatory requirements and deliver your product or service, and the customer is satisfied, then what happens is that they bring repeat customers, they remain loyal to the organization, and they may refer other people to your organizations. So there is improved customer retention and acquisition. So consistent outcomes which are measured and monitored. And this is a globally recognized standard. Any organization which says it is certified to ISO 9001-2015 all people know that they such companies have good systems inside their organization and will consistently deliver good products and services. So these are the benefits of implementing ISO 9001 2015.